Fungu Investments Limited. Many thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
And straight to the point, Kenya is just coming out of an election. Investors have been jittery. Where are we right now?
Thank you for that question, Abi. I think we're actually in a good position, in spite of what a lot of people might think, that with the kind of tensions that we had and therefore uncertainties, that it's not a good place to be from an investment perspective. Investment thrives, if you ask me. Of course, when things are okay and they're a lot more stable, investment generally will do well. Mm-hmm. But there'll also be that class of investors who, in all these uncertainties, they see opportunities. Call it contrarian if you may, but there are a lot of opportunities there. And therefore, I would say we actually at the point where, for those who've been planning, for those who've been keeping their eyes on the ball, there are a lot of opportunities.
All right. Yeah. Speaking about opportunities, Fungu Investments is looking to raise 3.5 billion shillings. Yeah. Perhaps, how will this be taken up right now, where we're seeing a lot of rebounding of the markets, really?
Well, that's a good question. I would say this. The 3.5 billion, we expect to raise it over a period of time. It will not be a one-pop kind of approach to the market. Yeah. We've broken it down over a period of about 5 years with phases in raising that capital. Our approach is to build a good deal pipeline, which we've been in the process of doing. We do actually have investment opportunities that we've processed or that we're in the process of packaging for the market. And then approach particular investors. We already have shareholders, close to about 400 of them. They've been supportive to us. But we think for this kind of capital raising that we're looking at, we need to go beyond those. So we are looking at working with more, especially institutions and high net worth individuals.
All right.
We've been in conversations with some of them directly, some through market intermediaries, and some through advisors to Fungu. And we think out there is an opportunity for our kind of investment program.
So what sort of asset classes will you be considering which might be giving good returns?
Thank you for that. Broadly, we invest in 4 asset categories. We are into private equity, real estate, fixed income, and money market kind of products. Mm-hmm. And lastly, we also do a little bit of listed equities. But our main focus is on the first two, private equity and real estate. Specifically within those, as part of our strategy, we've built or informed by how the economy has been performing in the past, but also taking a cue from what we see in the market, talking to owners of businesses, and interestingly enough, also looking at the policy or the promises that are made. For instance, the current administration, during the inauguration of the president, he mentioned areas that his administration will look into in terms of trying to deliver. He made certain promises around housing, around industrialization. As it is, those are 2 areas that we already have in our sites, and it just kind of makes us more excited that subject to us understanding exactly how the government intends to roll out those, there could be opportunities for a private sector provider of capital like ourselves.
All right. Yeah. And you've made an interesting breakdown, really. And moving forward, how soon do you look to cash in? And what's the first tranche that you anticipate to raise?
Right, thank you for that. We see ourselves looking somewhere in the region of about, I would say about 600 million Kenya shillings. The opportunities that we see immediately that we are interested in funding are mostly in agro-processing. We have opportunities in real estate, and we do also have, even though slightly further out, a couple of opportunities that could come through in fintech, in the fintech space. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, fintech has been quite the buzz in town. And perhaps to just get your parting shot, really, as Fungu Investments, what's your feeling of the Kenya economy right now, and what do you see in the horizon?
Yeah. Good. I think from the context of fintech, I see its time has come. Primarily because as a market we've adopted technology. If you focus on mobile telephony and what it's able to deliver. So the technology exists to allow fintech to happen. But also in addition to that, sometimes regulatory moves such as the interest rate capping presented opportunities. My belief is that those looking at commercial banks, the institutions that fall under the Banking Act, those that will kind of walk out of this whole situation better than maybe perhaps it started, are those that will look at financial or application of technology in financial services. But we're also seeing a lot of, or a good number, and that's where a lot of our interest as Funguo is. We are seeing a number of independent players coming in, by that I mean fairly new companies that want to take advantage of the whole of these things coming together, technology in place, and the regulation of commercial banks to try and offer financial services using the fintech platform.
All right. Yeah. Many thanks, Kenneth, for your insights. And we definitely look forward to hosting you over again to just take stock of how much you'll have raised by the timelines you have. Many thanks for speaking to us.
Thanks, Abi.
Appreciate it.
Have a good afternoon.
Well, that has been Kenneth Mushina, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Funguo Investments Limited, just breaking it down for us. He's quite optimistic that the market